Hi everybody, it's me again, and I'm alone. Cue the sad music. But yes, times get busy, life gets hard, and times are challenging. So you get me, woo, solo dolo. We will return with Ollie very soon, I'm sure. But yes, hi everybody, welcome to the Rated Podcast, the podcast where we, or I, discuss all things music and popular culture. Me saying that really messed up the intro. I'm Carl CNN, and today I'm going to give you like a rated rundown on some of the topics that we've been missing out on, but things that have happened in the media recently that I haven't had a chance to speak about, and I thought I'd want to comment on some of the things. The first being Beyonce announced as the greatest pop star of the 21st century, and I think that is warranted. I genuinely think like so we're in the 2000s, so 21st century is anything from 2000 to like 2099. I'm assuming, yeah, 100 years is a decade, right? I know things, yes. So I guess it feels a bit premature, only being that we have 74 years left of the of the decade, I guess, or the century. Sorry, not decade, of the century. So it kind of feels a bit premature. By the time I even do something at the end of like the century, most of us will probably be dead, to be honest. So yeah, but yeah, I thought well warranted. So the top 10 pop stars, I guess it's so far. Let's say so far. It says so far actually. So it's the Billboard's greatest pop star of the 21st century countdown so far, which is fair. I think so far makes sense. So in the top, there's like 25 in the top 25, and I just thought like I don't want to go through all of them. I'll put the thing there so you guys can see. But top 10 was Adele, was number 10. Ariana Grande was number 9. Justin Bieber was number 8. Kanye West was number 7. Britney Spears was number 6. Lady Gaga was number 5. Drake was number 4. Rihanna was number 3. Taylor Swift was number 2. And Beyonce was number 1. And I remember seeing there was that discourse online because I think people wanted Taylor to be number 1. So a lot of the Swifties were apparently beefing the BeyHive regarding this. And I think there was a lot of statements that Billboard put out. I'm not gonna quote because I don't remember specifically what they said. But paraphrasing, I remember there was a run I wrote and basically said that Beyonce was number 1 because of the longevity she's had in comparison to Taylor Swift, who hasn't had as many years. And I just kind of thought that makes sense. I mean, but then I think one thing that I think puts Beyonce and just pips her in terms of Taylor Swift, because I think Taylor Swift has the fans, she's got the sales, she's got the stream, she's got like all of the like album sales, she's winning. Streaming, she's winning. Like concert sales, winning. But I think that pips Beyonce pips her in the way that it's the impact that she's had over the last 25 plus years. I think like you see concerts like the Renaissance concert, you see how it was such a movement, you see how that had a cultural impact on people. Like people were dressing up, celebrities were going to this concert. It was like a whole thing. You'd wear like a specific clothing fits, like you know what I mean? Like I just feel like that in itself is testament to Beyonce's impact on the culture. And not even just that, like things that she's done in the past, like the digital drops she did 2013, the surprise release of the Beyonce album, things like that, changing the day that albums are released. So I think she dropped the album on a Friday, and then for the tracking week, I think it started on Monday or Tuesday. Don't quote me, I don't remember. It was 10 years ago, please. I'm even big man now. I don't even remember. Um, and yeah, because of her, like now the tracking is on the Fridays, whereas before it used to be like on the beginning of the week. And that album only tracked like had like 3 days or so worth of tracking, and it sold like almost a million. And if everyone was always saying around that time that if she's like released it when she was like during the tracking week, would have sold like over a million copies, which is true. And I feel like she's kind of gotten to that point where she doesn't really care about statistics and care about like stats and how she does on the charts anymore. Like I think she's elevated to the point where those things don't really concern her anymore. I think she's just thinking about the quality of her music and how that kind of like is embodied and how people receive that and the experience that is the Beyonce experience when you get a Beyonce album. So I would like to say that I think that they are Billboard were right with this, but I just think that they didn't need to. In the article I read, I remember they mentioned Taylor Swift, and I think they didn't really need to mention her and say this is why Beyonce got it because Taylor Swift came out how many years later. Obviously, Taylor Swift's like how many years younger, so I mean she's not going to come out at the same time as Beyonce because when they if they came out in the 90s together, Taylor would have been like I don't know less than 10 or something. So it don't really make sense as a justification. But yeah, I think Beyonce, in terms of her cultural impact, the way that she's kind of like she's a celebrity I see her as. Like people love her so much, like our celebrities, and that's like really uncommon. It's like I don't see stuff like that unless it's people like Michael Jackson, Whitney Houston, Celine Dion, like, and she's still relatively young in comparison to the people I just mentioned, who are like icons from the 80s and onwards. So I just feel like yeah, I think it was well deserved. I think Beyonce, and I think the top 10 was really good. I think like they had Taylor Swift, they had Rihanna, they had Drake, they had Lady Gaga, but they had a good mix of rappers, pop stars, like singers, etc. And the top 25 that I saw anyway had like Nicki Minaj there at number, where was she? 13. The Weeknd's in the number 18. You got Jay-Z in there, Justin Timberlake, Eminem, One Direction. Like I think they genuinely covered like a good breadth of like artists, and I don't feel like anybody to my knowledge, was omitted. I think this, like, in terms of like the last, of this century anyway, this makes sense in terms of the impact these people have had: Justin Bieber, Usher, etc. So yes, I think Billboard did a good job with that. I just feel like it could have caused a bit of contention with the fans and stuff. So yeah. Next thing I want to get into is SZA going on tour with Kendrick Lamar. So I saw a bit of like uproar on the internet when this was announced, and I knew the tickets were going to be expensive, and it's only so far I can see the American like tours. I'm just like, okay, well, you don't want to come here. That's fine. No, so let me save my coins because I know they'll come and make me spend £300 for um nosebleed seats. I ain't trying to do that still. Yeah, SZA and Kendrick are going on tour, and some people thought that it was a kind of a betrayal of Drake on behalf from SZA, and I kind of thought, like SZA and Kendrick have been like they were both on TDE together, so they kind of essentially grew in the industry together. They collaborated like a numerous amount of times. So I get what people are saying. Obviously, SZA has connections to Drake. Also, she's probably I don't know who she's known more. She dated Drake when she was a bit younger, and they were younger. So she's got personal connections to them both. I think sometimes it's a bit difficult when you are friends with two people who are beefing. It kind of puts you in what's that situation, that phrase of rock in a hard place. It kind of feels like that kind of situation with her at the moment. Like she's friends with she was label mates with one. Had all this like kind of growing in the industry with this one person. Then you have this other person you dated, you've known since you were a late teen, young adult. So it's just kind of like a bit contentious sometimes. But what can you do? Is money is like a money situation. You can't turn stuff down because of like how it might, look. The tour's selling out really quickly, so I don't really see it as a betrayal, but I can see why it would come across that way, to be honest with you. So, yeah, but I'm here for you getting your money, get your coins, get your bread up. Like, I don't think you should like turn anything down. Like, I think having blind loyalty is dangerous sometimes. I think when you just are so loyal to somebody that if they don't speak to somebody, you don't talk to them either. Like, that is so dangerous because the moment that the person becomes cool with them again, for example, Drake and Kendrick are beefing heavily. I don't know if they're going to be cool ever again because of some of the things they've said. It feels like they crossed those lines of becoming cool again. That threshold had probably gone, so that's fine. But imagine it wasn't like the of their beef, like it was just minor. Like Meek Mill and Drake had beef they made up. Like if, for example, SZA and is in between Drake and Kendrick, they're beefing. She's chosen a side. She's choosing Drake's side. Then 2 years down the line, Drake brings up Kendrick in the show. They make up. They become friends again. She's gonna look really stupid, having defended or tried to pick a side. Because when you pick a side, like the person, I've been in a situation before myself. Like the person, my friend has a situation with somebody. I'm beefing this first person. My friend becomes cool with this person. I look like an idiot because I'm beefing you. My friend isn't beefing me no more. So therefore, the Nigerians say it best. Don't take what's the phrase? Don't take Panadol for somebody else's headache, or don't take paracetamol for somebody else's headache. So that means mind your business. When people are beefing you, stay out of it, man, and make your money. So yeah, just give me my money. So yeah, I don't think it's that deep, to be honest with you. Yeah. One of the last things I wanted to talk about very quickly is very controversial news. So Jay-Z has been accused of allegedly R-ing a 13-year-old. So they're kind of put him in the same boat as Mr. Diddy, the diddler himself. Yeah, so R-ing a 13-year-old in the 2000s. So apparently it was like a BMA 2000s event that she's alleging that he did this thing to her. So apparently she labeled it as a catastrophic event. A limo arrived to a White House. She had a drink that made her feel woozy, and then there was an essay by rap stars, so Diddy and Jigga, that would ruin her life. But there's some inconsistencies in the story that people are kind of pointing out now. And she's come out to say, we'll call her Jane though because we don't know her name at the moment, but Jane has come out to say that she's made some mistakes in recollections of the night. And I think what she's basically saying is that it happened 24 years ago. So of course she's not going to remember like everything like word for word verbatim, but it did happen is what she's trying to kind of allege. So I kind of think I get what she's saying. You know, when your time passes, your recollection of certain things might be blurry. You might be thinking, this happened, this happened. You know, if you're intoxicated or you're under the influence of some sort, you might not have the best recollection of events. You know, if you're drunk, for example, I'm not trying to minimize her experience, her alleged experience, her experience. I'm not going to minimize that. But yeah, when you're drunk, you have a blackout moment. Like some things might feel like they were a blur. Like you might feel like you were dreaming, but they might have actually happened, and you don't really know until unless someone's able to confirm like this is a situation, this actually happened. So I say that to say, what are my thoughts on the whole thing? Yeah, it's just a bit tricky, I feel like. So, there's been like this discourse online. People have been saying that Jay-Z is next, and he's been so close to Diddy, there's no way that he cannot have involvement in some of the things that Diddy has been accused of doing. And it kind of like makes me think about the whole analogy, not analogy, what I know it's called, the whole phrase like birds of a feather flock together. Birds of a feather. Come on, Billy. And I just genuinely think that I don't know, like it kind of makes me think because I feel like I have friends that were not exactly the same, but we're friends for a particular reason, and it doesn't mean that okay, iPhone. It doesn't mean that we have to like do the same things or we have to behave in the same way, but we might have a mutual love for food. So that's what bonds us. You know what I mean? We might be completely different otherwise. That we might both be very into music. That's what bonds us. We might both be enjoy day parties or R&B music, and that's what bonds us. But we might have other things that are very different, but this is the one thing that joins us. So I think there sometimes is a thing with friendships. You can't assume that all birds of a feather flock together. I think I'm gonna give Mr. Jigger the benefit of the doubt, personally speaking, for now. Obviously, I don't really know the details, and I'm just gonna like not gonna accuse somebody of something. I wasn't there in 2000. I was like 7, if even. No, I was 6 even. Let me not add on to my age. So yeah, I don't know, but I'm obviously just gonna continue like everybody else to kind of like wait out and see what happens and what unfolds. But it's looking a bit sticky right now for Mr. Jigger, I would say. Yeah. So let's see what happens and what kind of the discourse is or the conversation is continuing going forward. But at the moment I'm gonna just say, yeah, I'm not gonna lie, like I don't really know what my thoughts are. I think as more information comes out, we'll be more clear and we'll get more clarity on the situation and then we can kind of like, you know, move on from there. But yes, and the last topic related to Jay-Z, because it's his offspring, is about Blue Ivy and she is really I don't know if I mean, I feel like it is nepotism to an extent, but like she's basically in a Lion King movie, Mufasa. She's the voice of one of the characters, if I'm not mistaken, and there's Beyonce in the voice is doing a voice as well in the movie. And I just saw some clips online of like people of them recording and Beyonce getting emotional, seeing her daughter who's now 12, like all grown up and like just I can't believe that Blue Ivy is this big 12-year-old girl like it's just crazy to me. I remember when Beyonce was pregnant with her on the VMAs and she was doing Lily Rob and Mic Drop and we were just like, hey, she's pregnant, like it's crazy. But yeah, she's growing up and she's you know, doing voice acting, so that's really good. I think I don't foresee Blue Ivy like pursuing music like her mom. I don't see it. I don't feel like if she was going to be a singer, I think they would have like shown us or shown her like in the in the moment singing or collaborating with her mom in some way. As she's seen her on the Renaissance tour, she can dance really well, and if she was able to sing, she probably would have sang or collaborated with Beyonce by now. So. I mean, she's done Brown Skin Girl, but I mean, like, you know what I mean? Like, want to be a singer kind of thing. She seems like she's more involved or interested in the creative arts outside of not specifically music or singing specifically, but you know, voice acting, acting, dancing, like performing arts. So there's a range of things you can do. Anyway, there was this course online because she was dressed in a dress and it was a nice like you know flowy kind of thing you know and people are saying that it was not inappropriate and this and that about the dress and I was just thinking to myself it's not that deep bro like why are we looking at this 12-year-old in a dress like she's basically covered from like pretty much head to toe it's just her arms were like showing and it's just like okay like you lot like looking at this dress as inappropriate I'll just have dirty minds and dirty intentions because I don't really understand why we are I don't even know what they're trying to do if they're trying to like sexualize the girl or what but it just doesn't make sense. I don't think the dress was inappropriate to any degree as well. I think it was given prom like dress, like what girls would wear to their prom nowadays, like very full and bouncy on the bottom and whatever. I'll put a clip in. So yeah, I kind of just thought it wasn't that deep, personally speaking. But yeah, that was it from me, guys. Generally speaking, I feel like the music world has been turned upside down at the moment, and it's really going to be interesting to see what happens in the next few months regarding like the whole Jay-Z, Diddy, and whatever stuff like trials and who else is going to be accused. And also seeing a lot of stuff about CEOs. I saw random the CEO of one of them like healthcare insurance companies got popped the other day, like pow in like New York, and I'm just like, damn, we're in a new age, like where people are really taking people out when they're like, not happy with how they've been treated or in some way. I feel like that was giving Robin Hood vibes, 100%. The story again has lots of inconsistencies though, because I believe they're trying to say it wasn't the same guy and this and that, and then they found the guy at McDonald's, and McDonald's staff apparently snitched or called the popo on him, and there seems to be more to the story, but again, unraveling as time unfolds. But yeah, guys, thank you for listening. Please continue to support the podcast. Really appreciate it. And like one thing you can do to help us, me, we, us, I, the podcast, is to just share it with a friend, somebody who you know likes musical, popular culture podcasts, that kind of thing, like current topics. We specifically focus on like music news and popular culture news, in opposed to like just general things. And yeah, so that's what our thing. So if anyone that you know is interested in that, send them the pod, like let them listen to a few seconds, and then they can make up their opinion on it if they want to. But yeah, continue to like, comment and subscribe. It really helps the channel growth as well on YouTube. And if you're on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, please continue to give ratings, and I guess, as I said, share the podcast with your friends. We really appreciate it. But yeah, thank you guys for listening, and hopefully when I come at you next time, it will be me and my co-host who will be there, or depending on how the screen places us. But yeah, thank you guys for listening, and I'll talk to you next time.